What's up, everybody? It's Rick Pino here from 𝐑𝐢𝐤𝐬. Welcome back to part 3 of my Make Money Online series. Today, we're going to be talking all about how to make money online with webinars. What are webinars? Webinars are basically web-based seminars. So they're a webinar. And in today's training, I'm going to show you exactly the step-by-step process you need to take in order to host your first or your next extremely profitable webinar. In fact, recently I just hosted a webinar and made over 6 figures from this one single webinar. If I can do it, you can do it as well. My students are doing it. Before we jump into the training, guys, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell, subscribe to the channel if you want to continue to see more content like this from me, okay? Let's get into it. All right, guys, so when it comes to webinars, there are 2 main parts to the webinar, okay? Come with me here to the board and let's talk about it, okay? There are 2 main parts to the webinar. You have the intro, and I'll go over this in just a second why the intro is so important, okay? And then the next part of the webinar, I call it the big domino, okay? So, and we're gonna talk about big domino and intro here in just a second. But guys, here's the punchline, okay? Webinars are extremely powerful. They're one of the most powerful ways that you can literally exchange value with your community, with strangers, with people who do follow you, people who don't follow you. You can exchange value with them on a very rapid pace. I always say it like this: immersion equals conversion, right? So the more immersed you can get somebody into your content, the higher the chances are that they're going to convert into your offer. Okay, now the webinar I'm going to show you how to host today, it's fantastic to provide value up front, like blow their minds with absolute, this was insane value, thank you so much. And then by the end, you can make an offer to your audience from anywhere from, you know, a $47 thing to a $97 thing to a $497 thing to a $997 or a $1,000 thing. I've even seen webinars go all the way up to $10,000. I've sold, on my webinars, I've sold products for $3,000 or $4,000. I've been on webinars where people sold things for $5,000 at the end. So you can literally use this model that I'm about to give to you to really transform the person from just like an outside, like what's going on, to like really getting them immersed, getting them into your ecosystem, and then inviting them to go even deeper with you at the end of your webinar, okay? So why in the world are there 2 main parts to a webinar? Well, before I get into that, let me just submit this to you, okay? The number one reason that you're going to host a webinar, okay, it's probably going to mess with you a little bit here. The number one reason why you're hosting a webinar is not to teach people, okay? It's not to sell people. The primary reason why you are hosting this webinar is to break limiting beliefs in your audience's mindsets, okay? So in fact, I will tell you this. If you show up to the webinar and you're like, I'm gonna just teach my socks off and I'm gonna tell them everything I know, and then at the end when I invite them to the offer, everyone's gonna buy. That's one of the biggest recipes for disaster that you can approach hosting your webinar with, is to try to like teach the room everything you know, right? The second approach that is a recipe for disaster is to try to sell on this webinar, right? Like nobody, you or me included, nobody wants to like register for a webinar, actually make the time to show up to the webinar, and all the person is doing is like selling. Like all of us are going to jump off. That's not valuable. It's like, what? So really what you need to do is when you are hosting your first or your next webinar, you need to approach it with the idea of, I am going to blow my audience's mind with value in the form of breaking limiting beliefs. Now, there's one thing that I've found in my business journey, both attending webinars, hosting. I've hosted hundreds of webinars, maybe thousands by this point, but tons and tons and tons of webinars that I've either been a part of or hosted myself. And I will tell you this: when you show up to serve your audience by providing value for them at an insane level, like here I'm going to show you how to do, but doing it through the form of breaking their limiting beliefs, they receive so much breakthrough, so much value, that by the time that it gets to you inviting them to participate in your offer at the end, they're like, this is so incredible. I love this. He helped me so much. She helped me so much. I absolutely need to buy their XYZ, blah, blah, blah at the end, right? And so webinars are insanely powerful if you approach them in the correct way. And again, that is to show up to serve your audience at the highest level in the form of breaking their limiting beliefs. But here's the caveat to that. We're not just going to be breaking their limiting beliefs. We are going to be breaking their limiting beliefs and then reinstilling truthful or hopeful beliefs. Because honestly, guys, at the end of the day, the biggest thing that's holding all of us back from our next level, myself included, yourself included, the biggest thing that's holding us back is not our resources, it's not our opportunities, it's not this, it's not that, it's our mindsets, okay? And whenever we can help somebody get a mindset breakthrough into a forward momentum, into the journey that they're on towards the goal that they desire to achieve, when you help them get a mindset breakthrough, it is like, in a lot of ways, it's much more valuable to the receiving person than even like, here's 47 steps how to do XYZ. Like, that's cool, but if you have all the knowledge in the world, but your mindset's still broke, like, think about it. Like, there's so much knowledge out there on the internet right now on how to do this and how to do that. All you got to do is just Google, what are the 5 steps to whatever, become a millionaire. I've done a ton of trainings on how to become a millionaire, how to build your business, how to market, how to sell, how to create digital products, etc. And though the information's on there are still people, not just on my content, but on everybody else's content, there are still people who are like, oh, she's scamming us. Or, man, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, ha ha ha. Or, man, this can't be true. You can't make that much money that quick. Why? Because their mindsets are in the wrong place, right? So if you can help somebody get a mindset breakthrough, that's the main thing that you want to do in the webinar, is help them break through in the way that they think about your specific niche. Okay? If you can help them get a breakthrough in the way that they think in your specific niche, then there are going to be no problems whatsoever when you invite them at the end to participate and go deeper with you into your offer and pay you for your whatever, your course, your digital product, your mentorship, your ticket to your thing, whatever it is. People are going to be like, this was amazing. If I got this much value in an hour, I can't imagine what I'm going to get by purchasing, giving this person some money, and going deeper with them to the next level of value. Okay? So if you're getting some value, drop the words, I'm getting it, in the comments. Drop some fire emojis in the comments, and let's get back to business here now that we have a little bit of context on the purpose and the approach of webinars. Okay? So like I said, guys, back to the board here, there are 2 main pieces to the webinar. And obviously there's a third piece at the end, which is your actual offer. But like I said, if you do the first 2 pieces correctly, the offer part will just fall into place pretty simply. Okay, so I'm just gonna let the offer be the given. Okay, we are hosting this webinar to serve people, to break their limiting beliefs, to instill hopeful, truthful beliefs. And then whenever we invite them into our offer at the end, it's just going to flow, okay? But why is the webinar broken into 2 pieces? Number 1, the intro, and number 2, the big domino, okay? What you have to understand is on the intro, okay? The intro, and I would consider the intro like the first 5 to maybe 10 minutes of your webinar. You have to think about this, okay? Let's say you're hosting, by the way, most webinars, if not all that I've seen, they're free, right? You could do like a paid webinar, 27, 47 as an actual digital product. But if you're just trying to scale and expand your customer base, your audience, if you're just trying to like provide value to people and like get them in your ecosystem, host a free webinar, okay? And then as they jump into the free webinar, then you can invite them to purchase from you and go to the next level of value at the end. But I always suggest host your webinar for free. That way you can serve as many people as possible up front. And like I've said in past trainings, amateurs trying to monetize on the front end, experts, they are monetizing on the back end, okay? So anyways, when it comes to the intro, okay, why is the intro so insanely important when it comes to hosting your webinar? Okay, well, I'll tell you why. Because first of all, when people register for your webinar, and here's just some general statistics, okay, and this will be helpful for you as you host your first or your next webinar. The general statistics are this, okay? Usually, if you do a really good job on the follow-up, if you do a really good job on keeping people warm, getting them ready for the webinar, usually show-up rates for a webinar are anywhere from 5% on the low end to 50% on the high end, okay? So if you're like, I had 100 people register for my webinar and only 31 showed up, you're doing pretty good. Like those are pretty good numbers for a free webinar. Because think about this, if you're hosting a free webinar, just like you, just like me, we might sign up for something that was like, oh cool, this looks interesting, and then just forget about it, right? And that's what I'm saying. If you're really, really good at follow-up, like sending those text messages, those reminders, those emails, keeping them warm, guys, here are 3 things everyone needs to do before they show up to the webinar. Like if you have this in your flow, you're gonna potentially increase your show rate by a lot, okay? But if you just like set up your funnel and then they register and you don't talk to them until like, the webinar's starting, guys, join me now. Like people are like, oh, that was right now? I'll catch the next one, right? So, don't be discouraged if you get like 5 to 50% of people show up, because those are the rough numbers, okay? So with that being said, back to the intro, with that being said, okay, the reason why the intro, and this is only the first 5 to 10 minutes, is so important is because if you don't get these people to stay in the beginning, right? If you are not interesting, if you're not providing value, if you're not really knocking their socks off with crazy value or interest or curiosity in the beginning, then why in the world would they sit there and listen to you for another hour or 2, right? So the intro is incredibly important, and I'm gonna break down for you exactly how to run the intro, okay? Check this out.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the training. I wanted to take a few moments real quick to invite you to join me for my upcoming Create and Sell Digital Products 5-day challenge, okay? This is a 5-day live virtual event where I invite entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs just like you to come spend 5 days with me and get live training on the 5 moves that anyone can take in order to scale and skyrocket their business and their revenue. Now, the best way to join is as a VIP, because VIPs get to spend an extra hour with me every single day and ask your questions live. My most successful students have all been VIPs. That's the best way to join. Listen, you don't want to miss the upcoming Create and Sell Digital Products 5-day challenge. It's completely live. It's coming up right around the corner. Click the link down below in the description. Grab your ticket today. Now back to the training.
So the first thing you're going to do, obviously, and let me just make my size here a little bit smaller here. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do, you're obviously going to welcome everybody. Guys, what's up? Welcome to the XYZ webinar. We're so excited that you're here. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much for joining us. In fact, let me know in the comments where you're watching from, right? Like, welcome them. Like, you're basically hosting an online event, okay? This is like this, they actually are paying you with their attention. They're paying attention. If they showed up, they're paying you with their attention. So make it worth their while. What's up, guys? We're so glad you're here. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have an amazing night together, blah, or a day or whatever time you're hosting it, right? And then immediately after the welcome, here's what I like to do. I like to hook straight to the end. What does that mean? It means, what's up, everybody? Good to see you here at the XYZ webinar. We are so excited you're here. In fact, on the count of 3, let me know where you're watching from. 1, 2, 3. Wow, we got Dallas in the building. We got Chicago in the building. We got Dublin, Ireland. We got New York, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? Awesome, guys. Well, we're so glad you're here. Then hook straight to the end. Well, guys, by the end of the training today, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 secrets on why everybody can XYZ and go from where they are now to where they desire to be in the XYZ blah, blah, blah niche. Okay, why am I doing this? Because, again, if somebody registered and they actually made the time and they actually showed up and they're willing to pay me with their attention for a few moments, okay, I need to give them a reason why they should stay to the end. So I'm instantly going to hook to the end by just announcing, here's why you're here, here's what you're going to learn, and by the end of the training tonight, you're going to discover blah, 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 blah. So that way they can make up their mind, oh, this sounds pretty cool and I would really love to learn that from them, so I should totally stick around. And that's going to give you a higher chance of them staying around instead of them just popping on like, what is this? Whatever you do, do not do this. Hey guys, we're going to get started here in a couple seconds. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys see me all right? Like maybe drop a thumbs up if you can see me. Like nobody wants to sit there and watch you think. Myself included, yourself included, right? Like the second they jump in and it's time to start, you hit the gas, baby. Let's go. Welcome, guys, blah, blah, blah. We're so excited you're here. Listen, by the end of the training tonight, I'm going to show you the blah, blah, blah on how to XYZ to XYZ in just as little as 3 simple steps. Anyone can do this, guys. If you're excited about that, drop some fire emojis in the comments. Like, you want to be engaging with them, kind of like it's a live like event, right? Like you're standing on the stage, and you are, in this case, you're standing on the virtual stage, but you want to like interact with them. Like if you're standing on a stage, right, you don't want to just be like, hey guys, if anyone can see me standing up here, let me know. Just wave at me if you can. Is my mic working? Like that's boring. Nobody wants to see that. When you are sitting there to be trained and to learn something new, you expect for that person to get on the stage and like, what's up everybody? And just take authority, take control of that room, and be the leader that they are desiring for you to be and expecting for you to be, to teach them how to do the XYZ. Okay? So first thing you're going to do, you're going to welcome them. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to hook to the end. Okay? The third thing that you want to do is, I think this one's really important. You want to establish authority, okay? Now, by the way, again, this is just the intro, okay? This is the first 5 or 10 minutes. Might take you a little bit shorter, might take you a little bit longer. All of that's fine, but make sure whatever you do that the intro is fire, okay? Because if it's not, they're going to be like, meh, and they're just going to go log off and go to something else, okay? Give them a reason why they should stay to listen to you and continue to pay you with their attention, okay? Welcome them, hook to the end. Then the third thing you want to do is you want to establish authority. Right? Because some of these people who are coming into your webinar, they have no clue who you are, and that's okay, right? Or maybe they know who you are, but they don't know what you've done or where you've been or why you have the authority to speak on the thing that you're going to be teaching them on, right? So what I like to do is I like to welcome them. I like to hook to the end. By the end of the thing, you're going to blah, blah, blah. You're going to learn this. And then I just go, hey, for those who don't know, my name is Rick Pino, and for the last XYZ years, I've been involved with XYZ. I've done this, I've done that, and it's been pretty cool. And because of all this, I'm excited to share with you tonight on blah, 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 right? So it's not like a boasting, like, I'm the best in the world and I made bajillions of dollars, or I have blah, blah. That's not the point. The point is, just like me, just like you, if I show up, like maybe they get hit with an ad, or they see a random post, or their friend reposts your link, and they're like, guys, she knows what she's talking about. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to fill in the blank on your niche, right? And everyone should check out this training that he's doing, this training she's doing. If I show up and I have no clue who you are, right? You literally only have just a few moments to hook me in. So you're going to welcome, you're going to hook me to the end, and then just tell me who you are and why you are qualified to teach me the thing that I showed up to hopefully learn, right? So it's not this like boasting. I know a lot of people get into their heads like, oh, I don't want to talk about myself, and I just want to, like, guys, get over it. It's not that deep. It doesn't have to be like a 47-minute long read your entire life story. I'm talking about just, here's why I'm qualified to talk to you about the thing I'm going to talk to you tonight. That's it, right? So welcome them, hook to the end, establish some authority, okay? And then what I like to do next is I like to make just a big promise, right? And this is not a guarantee, right? Like, I guarantee you'll be a millionaire by the end of the next 45 minutes. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about make them a big promise. For instance, I would say something like, let's go back to establish authority. For those who don't know, my name is Rick Pino. For the past XYZ years, I've been involved in this and that, and I've had a real fun time. In fact, we've been able to do XYZ, and it's been super helpful because all of that experience, we're going to roll it all into this next 45 minutes, hour, 2 hours, however long your webinar is going to be. We're going to roll it on there and do our absolute best to just cram value into this training, okay? And here's what and then now you go to the big promise. And here's what I want to promise to you guys, okay? After you are done going through this training, I promise you are going to get more insight on whatever, XYZ, your niche, right, than you've probably ever gotten before. And I will definitely tell you this. I promise that you're going to get more from this hour together, more from these 2 hours together, than trying to spend 7, 10, 15 hours like searching around on YouTube trying to put a couple of puzzle pieces together. Everything you need is right here, okay? So stay locked in here because that's exactly what's going to happen for you during this training. So why am I doing that? Again, I'm using this intro, this first 5 to 10 minutes, to lock them in and give them not just one reason, giving them many reasons to continue to listen to me. Because honestly, if they don't stay listening, how in the world are you going to be able to help them, right? Like, if they dip out because you're super boring, hey guys, can you hear me? Yeah, we're going to get started here in just a couple seconds, just like sitting there all awkwardly. Anyways, like, don't do that, okay? Use this intro to get them fired up, give them as many reasons as possible to want to stay and listen to you and engage and actually pay attention so that they can receive that breakthrough that they didn't necessarily know. I need a breakthrough and I'm going to show up for this. They didn't know that they needed it consciously, but they definitely knew and desired for it to happen subconsciously. That's why they're there. So reinforce their decision to show up, give them a reason, give them many reasons to continue to listen to you, okay? And then the last thing I like to do in the intro is I like to pre-frame them for the upcoming opportunity, okay? So I'll say something like, welcome guys, blah, blah, blah. By the end of this thing, you're gonna yada, yada, yada. In fact, for those who don't know, my name is Rick Pino, and for the past XYZ years, I've been a part of blah, 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 blah. And here's what I wanna tell you guys. During this training, I promise you this, you're gonna learn more about XYZ than you've ever known about XYZ. And I'm telling you this, like, it is absolutely worth your time to show up. In fact, I'm gonna share 3 secrets with you that are gonna blow your mind. Secret number 3 is incredible. It's literally helped my students go from XYZ to XYZ. I'm just making all this up, right? And you don't wanna miss it, guys. And by the way, now I'm at the pre-framing them for the opportunity. By the way, what is a pre-frame? A pre-frame is a lens that you give to your audience to allow them to begin to see something through a new lens, okay? So instead of them just showing up like, what is this thing? You're actually going to put a pair of glasses on them. You're going to put a lens on them and let them know, hey, this thing is coming. Be expecting it and don't see it the way that you think you should see it. See it the way that I am pre-framing you to see it, okay? So with that being said, here's a big promise. You're going to blah, blah, blah by the end of this thing, and then pre-frame them for the opportunity. And by the way, guys, at the end of this training tonight, there's going to be an incredible opportunity for some of you guys and gals to go deeper with me and my team, if you have a team, in the next level of this training. Obviously, in the next hour, we're going to do our best to blow your minds with value, but there is so many more levels to the game when it comes to insert your niche. So there's going to be an opportunity here, okay? So be looking for that, guys. How many of you guys are excited to get started? Like, that right there should be your intro. It will usually take about 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, you have to practice this. Yes, your first webinar probably will stink, right? And that's okay. Unless I have my students do this, unless you actually put in reps and host practice webinars like 10, 15, 20 times before your actual webinar. I have my students do this a lot. It is insanely helpful. Like, I'm talking about putting on an actual webinar with no one watching at all, just so you can get the reps in, right? So by the time you do your first webinar or your next webinar with the model I'm giving you, it's not your first time doing it. You've already done it 10, 15, 20 times before this. You're obviously going to be much more comfortable doing it that way, okay? If you're getting some value, drop some fire emojis in the comments, guys. I'm trying to hook y'all up. I told y'all there's no gatekeeping here, okay? So anyways, that's part A to the webinar. Part B is what I call the big domino, okay? And so in the big domino, if you remember, what did I say? The purpose of the webinar is not to teach necessarily, and obviously you're gonna teach them some things. The purpose of the webinar is not to sell, and obviously you're gonna sell them something, but the purpose of the webinar is to break false and limiting beliefs and instill new, hopeful, truthful beliefs. So this big domino, I would say, is their main limiting belief around whatever subject it is that you are training them on this night, okay? And again, I'm telling you, if you can just help them get a mindset breakthrough in the subject that you are trying to help them in, it will be no brainer for them to continue to move forward into your offer at the end, okay? So that big domino there, okay, the main limiting belief, you know better, because obviously there's thousands of you watching right now, and there's millions of niches out there. There's no way I can tell you what the main domino is, but you can, right? Because if you've gone through this series on how to make money online with digital products, and you've gone through the digital products training, you've gone through the ebook training, and now you're here in the webinar training, hopefully you've done that. And if you haven't, go back and go through the series, okay? Because there's gonna be some compounding information that will serve you very, very well in this specific training that maybe you haven't captured yet from the first 2 videos in this series, okay? So go back and check them out. And in fact, I'll have the team link the series down here below, okay? But check this out. What is the main limiting belief in your niche? I don't know, because I don't know every single one of your specific niches and specific things, right? So what you're going to have to do is you are going to have to think, what's the main thing that holds most people back from getting success in XYZ subject? Now, it might be money, right? It might be a limiting belief around I can't do it, or it won't work for me, or this is a scam, or I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have the time, like all the different limiting beliefs that people have. Think of one of the main limiting beliefs, okay? And then essentially the reason why I call it the big domino is because if you can push this big domino, this big limiting belief over, if you could just push this big limiting belief over, then all the other dominoes are just gonna go and it's all gonna fall into place. And so that way, by the end, whenever you present your offer, hey, if you would like to go deeper with me, I have a course, I have an upcoming training, I've got a seminar, I've got a mentorship, blah, 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 and it's only XYZ, right? Because you push the big domino over and it knocked all the other small dominoes over, you don't have to sell nearly as hard because the big domino has been knocked over anyway. And that was the main thing that was holding them back anyway. So if you can knock it over in these 3 steps, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it here in just a second, it's going to be so simple for you to sell your thing, your product, your digital product in our case, at the end of your webinar, okay? If you're ready to learn the 3 steps, let me know down in the comments, say, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, okay? So here's what you're going to do, okay? I would break this, and here's the thing. After you establish, okay, what is that big domino, or what is that main limiting belief that's holding them back from getting success in my specific area or niche, okay? Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna break this into 3 secrets. Okay, what is 3 secrets? Now let's just say it is, let's say the big domino is, this won't work for me, okay? I'm just making all this up. Let's say the biggest limiting belief that this person has that is keeping them from being successful in your niche is, this won't work for me, okay? Well, why won't it work for them? You need to break this down into 3 steps, okay? What's step number 1, why it won't work for them? Well, maybe step number 1 is money. Well, it won't work for me because I don't have the money, right? And I'll break down what the secrets mean here in just a second. Maybe secret number 2, what's the second reason why it won't work for them? I don't have the time, right? And then what's secret number 3? Secret number 3 or reason number 3 of like why this won't work for me. Maybe the first one is money, maybe the second one is time, and then maybe the third one is their spouse, right? Me and my spouse just aren't on the same page, blah, 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 blah. So why did I call this the 3 secrets, okay? You're going to take this big domino and you're going to basically, what are the 3 prongs that hold this big domino up, okay? What are the 3 reasons of why they have this limiting belief? It won't work for me because I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, and my spouse is holding me back, or we're not on the same page, or they think stuff like this is a scam, or whatever it is, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to push this big domino down. You're going to break these limiting beliefs down by saying, guys, in the training, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 secrets on why this will work for you, even if you don't have money, even if you don't have time, and even if your spouse is holding you back or whatever it is, right? Because what I want to do is I want to wrap the secret up into those 3 prongs of the big domino limiting belief. Because consciously and even subconsciously, they're thinking, oh man, this may not work for me, but you're going, I'm going to show you exactly how it can work for you, even if insert, reason number 1 for their big limiting belief, even if insert reason number 2 for their big limiting belief, and even if insert reason number 3 for their big limiting belief. Why are we doing this? Because instantly you're talking to their conscious and subconscious minds of, you can do this. And honestly, you and I both know that they can, as long as they get their mindsets right, okay? And I keep saying mindsets with an S because we have a conscious mind and we have a subconscious mind. They need to get their conscious mind set correctly, but they also need to get their subconscious mind set correctly. And if you can break down these limiting beliefs around that are holding up their big domino of why this thing won't work, if you can break this down for them, over with, baby, okay? So how are you gonna present the secrets? Secret number 1, you're gonna say, in today's training or whatever, in today's training, you're gonna learn how to, go from where you are to where you desire to be, X, Y, Z, and then you're going to allude to the big domino without saying the big domino by saying, even if you feel like you don't have enough money, even if you feel like you don't have enough time, and even if you feel like you and your spouse are not on the same page with it, okay? So let's talk about secret number 1, okay? Secret number 1 is how anyone can get what they desire in this niche and achieve success even if they don't have money. And in fact, guys, that reminds me of a story, okay? So now you're gonna tell a story around secret number 1. Like, guys, I am giving you the playbook right now, okay? Literally, I have students that pay tens of thousands of dollars for this information, and I'm just giving it all to you guys and gals for free, okay? So if you're enjoying it, let me know down in the comments if you guys are actually learning something here, okay? So guys, secret number 1, you are going to intro the secret by telling a story, okay? Then what you're going to do, after you tell the story, and by the way, that story should be a story that supports the point that you are trying to make, that even if you feel like you don't have enough money, you can get success in XYZ, okay? Because when you tell a story, it interrupts their patterns of their thinking, and it actually, it alludes to the childlikeness in each and every one of us. In fact, who is the best storyteller to get a point across? Well, his name was Jesus, right? And Jesus was an amazing storyteller. Every point that he would make it with a parable or with a story. Why? Because stories are some of the best, most powerful ways to emphasize a point, okay? So you're going to reveal secret number 1. This can work for you, even if it feels like you don't have enough money. And here's why, because of XYZ story. Then you're gonna just tell some story that supports your point, okay? Then after your story, you are going to break the limiting belief that is attached to quote unquote secret number 1, okay? And you're gonna literally just be like, so guys, what do we learn from this story? We learned that though XYZ is happening and you feel like you don't have enough money, the truth is, and then you're going to, so you're basically going to throw stones at that limiting belief, and you're going to break that limiting belief by throwing stones at the limiting belief. And by the way, your story just emphasized why this secret is true. And after you throw stones at the limiting belief, then you're going to rebuild or install a new, hopeful, truthful belief. See guys, what do we learn from that story? We learned that a lot of people think that XYZ can't work for them because they don't have enough money, right? But the truth is, anyone can blah, 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 even if they don't have money, just like XYZ story that I just told you, right? So you break their limiting belief by throwing stones at it, and then you're going to rebuild the hopeful, truthful belief, okay? And then you're going to elaborate on the whole entire point for 5 more minutes, okay? Literally, guys, this is how you're going to break down all of the different secrets that are holding up the big domino of main limiting belief, okay? And the same thing's gonna go for secret number 2. Now, secret number 2, let's talk about this, okay? Secret number 2 is why this can work for you even if you feel like you don't have time. In fact, guys, that reminds me of another story. And then you're gonna tell a second story that reiterates why, even though they feel like they don't have enough time, this is exactly why it can work for them, right? And again, I don't know what story you're gonna tell. You have to tell your own stories. You have to find your own stories, okay? I can't make up the story for you. You guys actually have to do some work, okay? And then the same thing, you're gonna break their limiting belief. And guys, what do we learn from this story? Well, we learned that people are being held back because they think they need time to be successful in the XYZ niche, okay? But the truth is this, and again, you just threw stones at that limiting belief, but the truth is this. Rebuild their beliefs with a hopeful or truthful belief. But the truth is this. Just because you feel like you don't need time, you actually need way less time to be successful in this thing than you actually think. And then you're going to elaborate on that for 5 more minutes, okay? That's secret 1, secret 2. In between secret number 2 and secret number 3, remember back here in the intro, we pre-framed the opportunity. We just let them know, hey guys, by the way, there's an opportunity coming, okay? Now we're providing crazy value by breaking limiting beliefs and installing amazing, hopeful, truthful beliefs in all of these pillars that are holding up their main limiting belief that's holding them back from getting success, okay? In between secret 2 and secret 3, you're gonna pre-frame them again, okay? So after secret 2, you're literally gonna be like, by the way, guys, if you're just joining us, why do I say it like that? Because some people are just joining you. Some people showed up late. Other people, they've been there the whole entire time, but it doesn't matter because when I lead with, if you're just joining us, I am now talking to the conscious mind of people who are just joining us, and I am talking to the subconscious mind of people who have been joining us, who've already joined us and been there the whole time. So when I say, if you're just joining us, people who've been there the whole time, they're not gonna be like, oh, why is she saying this again? Why is he saying this again? They're just gonna be like, oh, I'm not just joining them, but I'll hear what they have to say. Like, you're talking to their subconscious mind at that point, okay? So guys, by the way, if you're just joining us, like I said, there is an incredible opportunity coming here in just a few moments. In fact, it is an opportunity to be trained at an even higher level with my team and I, if you have a team, right? Or join, start this next phase with me or whatever it is. I don't know your specific situation, obviously, but pre-frame them again and let them know an opportunity is coming. And by the way, I always call it an opportunity. I never call it an offer. I never call it a course. I never call it buy a ticket to my thing. I never do that. Why? Because I want to put them in the right state that it is an opportunity, because it is, right? It's not just like, I'm not just here trying to make money from them. I'm trying to help them in their mindset. And after their mindset gets set right, then I want to present an amazing opportunity for them to grow into the next level, which is to engage with me and purchase my thing, right? So again, when it comes to like selling all this stuff, if you emphasize their life getting better, okay, by engaging with you in your offer and paying you, then the byproduct is your life gets better. But you have to keep their best interest in mind. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to keep their best interest in mind by saying, listen, you need this, okay? I've already learned this. I've already been through this. I've already gone through this. I've already learned the lessons, and it took me years to learn it. You can literally learn it by buying the $47 ticket to the thing. You can literally learn it by investing the $100 to get the thing, right? So my intent is their best interest in mind, because I already know this information. Whether they buy or not, my life doesn't get any better. My life doesn't change much, right? It gets a little bit better if people buy, but my life doesn't change much because I already know this stuff, right? Their life gets way better if they grow and engage on this opportunity to the next level, okay? Drop some fire emojis in the comments if y'all are getting this. In fact, let me know down in the comments if you guys are going to run this play. In fact, drop these words down in the comments. Say, run the play, run the play, run the play. If you guys are going to go take this information and go run the play, you can make money online, okay? Anyways, and then you're going to go to secret number 3 and do it exactly like I just showed you how to put out secret number 1, secret number 2. You'll tell your story, okay? You'll break the false or limiting beliefs by throwing stones at it, okay? You'll rebuild with a hopeful, truthful belief, and then you'll elaborate on the point for 5 more minutes. Now, here's the time frame of everything, okay? Remember, I said intro is 5 to 10 minutes. After you get pretty good, this can easily take 7 minutes, 10 minutes, okay? And then this right here is going to take 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, because again, just getting all this done, telling a story, getting all this part done, that's like 5 minutes, right? Maybe 7 minutes, 10 minutes, and then elaborating the point for another 5. You're already, just for the intro and point number 1 or secret number 1, you're already 20 minutes in, right? And then you add this one, and now you're 30 or 40 minutes in, right? And then you add a quick little 3-minute pre-frame, and then you do the end right here, you're at about an hour, okay? If you do all of this correctly, and you get really, really good at all this, this whole choreography, because that's really what it is, it'll take you about an hour, okay? And then here's what I like to do. After I do the secret number 3 and break that last limiting belief.
If you've made it this far into the training and you're enjoying it and you still haven't checked out my upcoming 5-day live virtual challenge, Create and Sell Digital Products, what is you doing? Check out this testimony right here of one of my current students. He took the information that I'm going to be sharing with you in the upcoming 5-day training to make $15,000 in one single week. Click the link down below, join as a VIP. We'll see you in the challenge. Now, back to the training.
I'll make the offer. Well, guys, there you have it. Those 3 secrets, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing. Like I've been saying, there is an incredible opportunity coming up. Would it be okay with you guys? And I always ask for permission, okay? Would it be okay with you guys? Let me know in the comments. Would it be okay with you? By the way, I'm acting, okay? I'm reenacting how this should go for you. By the way, guys, if you're here in the webinar tonight, let me know down in the comments if it would be okay with you if I actually shared the opportunity with you. Is anybody here excited about the opportunity? How many of you guys and gals would like to hear about the opportunity? Let me know in the comments, and then legitimately take a few moments and see what they say. Everybody is going to say yes. If you do all of this right, they're all gonna be like, yes, of course we wanna hear about it. Like, what is it? And then after they go, yes, please tell us about the opportunity, make your offer. Well, guys, I'm excited to let you know we have a brand new course on XYZ on how to go from where you are to where you desire to be. Here's what's in the course. Here's why the course is amazing. And here's what the course costs. It's a very small investment of only XYZ. In fact, we're dropping the link in the chat right now. And by the way, all of this to say, I'm assuming that you're hosting this webinar over Zoom, okay? There's a bunch of other softwares out there that you could do it on. I just think Zoom is really great. You can have a few people on a Zoom call. You can have hundreds, you can have thousands. I've literally hosted webinars with tens of thousands of people in them, and Zoom is okay. You just need to have the right level, and Zoom works for whatever level you're at. Okay, so you break that domino, or you push that domino down, you break those limiting beliefs, right? They're pre-framed, then you ask them the permission to give the offer, and then here's kind of like a caveat, maybe B part to all of this, and this is where it could be. Remember in the beginning I said it might take 1 to 2 hours. All of this here could take about an hour if you do it correctly, 45 minutes to an hour, okay? And then if you would like to, you could add a whole other section of Q&A if you so desire to, okay? And what I like to do is sometimes I will stay on and I'll answer questions for the audience and tie all of the answers to their question back to the offer. Hey, Rick, how do you do blah, blah, blah? Well, the short answer is all you got to do is this, this, and this. And to be honest with you, we go way in depth in the course, or we're going to go way in depth in the upcoming training. And that's why you should buy a ticket, okay? Who's next? Sally, come on in. Hi, Rick. My question is blah, blah, blah. How do I do this? Well, what I would do is blah, 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 blah. Give them the answer. And honestly, Sally, again, like I just told Robert, who is on here, we're going to be going over all of this in the upcoming blah, blah, blah. Or you can learn more about this in the upcoming training, or you can get even more in-depth answers to this in the course. Okay, who's next? And so you can literally take that last hour, answer questions, and then point everybody back to the offer. If I'm going to stay on with a Q&A, I'm going to obviously continue to provide value to the audience by delivering amazing answers to their questions, but I'm also going to use that section to reinforce why they should grow to the next level and take me up on my offer. Guys, I want to see one more time how many of y'all are going to run this play. Again, 10 more people in the comments right now say run the play, run the play, run the play. Okay, guys, this model right here on how to host this webinar is one of the most powerful things that you can do when it comes to serving your community, blowing their minds with value, helping them get those mindset breakthroughs that they need to continue to move forward towards the success that they desire in your niche. And if you use this model, it's going to work absolutely fantastic. Now, here's the thing. Let me just throw this out there. You probably need to practice this a couple times, okay? I know I mentioned it before, but the more you practice this, the better you're going to get at it and the stronger it will work for you, okay? Guys, there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me for part 3 in my Make Money Online series. Get ready for part 4 because it's coming up next. If you haven't already, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel right now if you have the desire to continue to see more content like this from me. And guys, share this information with somebody who you know would get a ton of value out of it. Because as you can see here, like I'm literally just giving all the information to you for free. I'm not gatekeeping anything. My desire on this channel, guys, is just to bring you as absolute much value as humanly possible, okay? So thank you so much for joining me. Stay tuned for part number 4 in my Make Money Online series, and we'll see y'all in the next training.